everyone is a fan of movies. Subconsciously or consciously, when you watch a film, you relate to what you see up on the screen because it makes you care. I'm here today to kind of go back to the basics of what makes a movie, and not even dealing with the actors or the budget, but rather the pen on paper, the script. How do you write a script? And I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process on how to write a movie script that every film follows in some form of another. And I want you to know that yes, every film is unique and different in their own ways, but there's a 3-act structure that every film has to create a satisfying, heartfelt, lack of a better term, good movie. Okay? Now, after doing a lot of research and to figure it out, what is the 3-act structure, I went to YouTube to find interviews with top-notch directors, screenwriters, movie producers. I've looked to books and websites that talk about the structure of films and scripts. Also, the top universities for film and what the professors have to say about the 3-act structure that every movie follows. So the first part of the 3-act structure is Act 1. There's Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Every film has it. Act 1 is about the introduction of the characters. Who is the main character, the protagonist in our story? And it's kind of laying the foundation, and it's usually the first 25 to 30 minutes of every film. And we kind of get a sense of the setting and where this character is. And an example of this is, or excuse me, let me take that back before I say that. In this Act 1, the main point is to have that inciting incident. What creates, this purpose for this protagonist? And I have a quote here from Sid Fields. He's the author of The 3-Act Structure of Visual Representation of Art. And he says, the inciting incident is the circumstance that brings the lead character to the forefront, the situation that emotionally involves the character in the story. So that inciting incident is what sets off, okay, this is what our story is about. And an example of that is Rain Man. When Tom Cruise's character, his father dies, and he realizes that he's not getting any money from his father. It's going to a brother that he never knew he had, an autistic brother. And so his inciting incident is to go out and find this long-lost brother across the country, bring him back, and get him to sign the papers so he can get his cut. So that's Act 1. The story doesn't go that way, but that's what he wants to do. Second act, Act 2, is a very, very difficult. It is the most difficult and the longest part of any movie. It's your middle. It's between the beginning and where your characters are to where you want to end. Quentin Tarantino, one of the most influential directors of all time, has a quote, or excuse me, not a quote, I'll just paraphrase it, but about how in this movie Kill Bill, he knew who the characters were. He knew these group of ninjas, who they were at the beginning of the movie. They knew how they wanted to end the movie by killing Bill, but he didn't know the middle. And the middle has a lot to do with finding new characters, developing them, meeting mentors, learning new skills. And an example of that is in Django Unchained. Jamie Foxx's character, spoiler alert, Jamie Foxx's character meets Christopher Waltz, his character, and together they learn how to shoot, become bounty hunters, and gather ammunition, weapons, and supplies to go on this quest and this journey to go find Jamie Foxx's wife in the movie. Now, on that note, I wanted to throw in a little detail here of Act 2 that kind of gives it a spice and that makes just your movie all the better. And it's called 2+2. And it's not, so what I mean by that, it's not giving your audience 4. And Andrew Stanton, he wrote Finding Nemo, Toy Story, A Bug's Life, all these amazing animated movies. He has a quote that goes, make the audience put things together. Don't give them 4, give them 2+2. The audience wants to work for their meal. They just don't know that. So, it's just subconscious in the human's brain to problem solve. So instead of just saying, oh, here's the bad guy, and rather than doing that, why don't we put up 3 guys that could be the bad guy, and you have to pick for yourself, and you lean which way or the other. Lastly is Act 3. And Act 3 is the last part of our film, and it's the biggest climax where tension is at its highest. You know, false beliefs are exposed, sides are turned, good guys win, bad guys lose most of the time. And a great example of that is Saving Private Ryan. It's a 3.5 hour long movie, and it's all about blood, dying, fighting, explosions, destruction, war, just to find one man, Private Ryan, and get him home. And at the final climax scene, the battle, this big battle on this bridge, they finally are able to rescue this man and take him home and have him honorably discharged from the military and sent home. And with that being said, that is the 3-act structure and the backbone of what every film goes by to create a movie. And we get attached by what we watch, and it reminds us of our own lives. We all have something that drives us, and we won't be satisfied until we get it. If we don't get it, then it's just a bad movie. So if there's no satisfaction at the end of a film, much like life, if there's no satisfaction after your hard work, after caring about these characters, if it's just the bad guys do win, or your character doesn't get what he wants, then what's the point? Much like our own lives. You know, if we don't do what we want to do, then what's the point? Thank you for your time.